Edward S. Parker was born and raised in Providence, Rhode Island, and by 1860 he was working as a clerk in the city. On May 2nd, 1861, at the age of 19, Edward enlisted as a private in Company D of the 1st Rhode Island Infantry, which was recruited for 90 days' service in April and May of 1861. Private Parker left for Washington on April 20th, sailing out of New York on the steamship Empire State. When he arrived in Washington on April 26th, Edward found the capital city on edge. Rumors ran wild. The threat of a Confederate attack loomed over the heads of its citizens, and hastily trained volunteer soldiers saw spies and saboteurs around every corner. Camp Clark, July 3rd, 1861. Mr. Sanders, dear sir, I have a few leisure moments this afternoon, and I will give you a statement of things as they are, and you can compare them with the stories there and see how they agree. We get the Providence Post this morning, and I see by that we had caught one spy with 6 pistols and 1 pound of poison. It stated that he was taken on the way to our spring, and that he was going to poison the spring, and it was with difficulty that the guard was restrained from shooting him. We have not taken any spy. That story started from one of our cooks getting drunk and kicking over the yeast in his mad fit of drunkenness. One half of the skirmishes that you hear of is from something such as that. For instance, our guard last week shot a spy, and it proved to be a cow, but he did not hit her. Last night our company was on guard, and post number 1 was assailed by 14 armed men, but it proved to be some of the New York boys in pursuit of a spy. Probably you'll hear that our guard had a fight with some spies or the like. And Sloan shot one of our officers' horses last night for a spy, the horse being in an open field and it being clear, and the horse inside of the camp. It was thought to be rather a cowardly piece of business, and they talk of sending him home. Charles Sloan says that he isn't safe to be in camp, for it was done in a fright. He saw the horse and was frightened most to death. As for the fighting out here, there is little, or nothing said about it. We remain in camp doing but little, and anxious to try them over in Virginia, to see whether it is going to take 6 northern men to whip 1 southern man or not. I will give you an account, returned from Western Virginia to General Scott, of a skirmish in that section. It seems that the general sent a picket of 12 men to ascertain if a certain town was occupied. And they had been and discovered that it was, and started to go back, when they came on about 40 men, all armed. And the man that had the command of the guard ordered a charge, and routed the rebels, killing 2 and wounding several more with the loss of 1 man wounded. The rebels went back to town and got 40 more, and attacked them again in return, and got defeated with the loss of 20 killed, beside the wounded, while our men lost 1 man killed and 2 or 3 slightly, and 3 mortally wounded, but was alive at last counts. Tell the folks not to believe one half of what they read in the papers, for stories arise out of the least things. I have not much more to write at present, but tell the folks that I am well and in good spirits, and send my respects to all inquiring friends. Yours sincerely, E. S. Parker. Private Parker remained in Washington until July 16th, when he was ordered to rendezvous on Pennsylvania Avenue at 12:30 p.m. A few hours later his regiment was marching across the long bridge over the Potomac River, and Edward found himself on Virginia soil. Just one small part of Brigadier General Irvin McDowell's hastily trained Union Army, which was making its way towards Bull Run Creek for what was supposed to be a decisive Union victory. On July 21st, the regiment crossed Bull Run at Sudley Ford and moved south to Matthews Hill under fire, but the collapse of the Union Army forced them to withdraw back across the creek. The 1st Rhode Island Infantry reached Centerville by 9 p.m., but they were ordered to keep moving, and the exhausted men crossed back over the river into Washington on the morning of July 22nd. The Battle of Bull Run cost the regiment 13 men killed, 39 men wounded, and 30 men captured or missing. 1 month later, on August 22nd, the 1st Rhode Island mustered out, and Edward Parker returned to Providence. He went back to work as a clerk, and married Annie B. King on September 30th, 1863.